You'll have stilted brain.
Which could kill them or give them brain damage.
How did your brain even learn human speech?
Briella has no pleasure center in her brain.
Seems like a good way to drink a milkshake without getting brain freeze.
You see, gentlemen, the female experiences a biological reaction to chocolate that triggers the same pleasurable responses in the brain as are triggered during the sex act.
What I can do in my brain, it's every bit as deadly as Bill's fangs.
And then relays that information to us in the state of apparent brain death.
So, he was wondering if you could meet him tomorrow for coffee so that he could pick your brain.
So you know how when the perfect clue gets stuck in your brain and
I mean, sex on the brain.
And then relays that information to us in the state of apparent brain death.
I think the science part of your brain would enjoy it. All right, so we was wrong about the size of your brain, but you don't go and eat a man for that.
I was poking around on Janice's brain.
So, if we can find its brain, can we cut off the head to kill the tail?
Not with his arms, but with his brain.
They thought that I had been captured by Central Command, and they wanted to jack into my brain to read my memories.
Yeah, Boogs looks like he might just be a big muscle-bound meathead, but he's got a big brain inside of that head.
But Bliss has experience and whatever the hell's going on in her brain.
Whenever a Divine Shadow died, his brain was removed and his body was sent to Ruma for burial.
You two have sex on the brain.
Maybe you're confused about who I am since China went, warped your brain, whatever the fuck neo-colonial situation happened with you there. Okay?
What a big brain that person has, but look at Katana.
He would suffer brain death long before we could repair it.
What, you think they got a brain with 2 ounces of brains in it?
You brain dead floor mat.
I'm trying to be positive in front of him, but my brain keeps going to crazy town.
His brain still works. Yeah. But I can't shut off my brain.
They pick up signals from the cosmos and transmit them directly into the brain.
Becky Lynch's brain's certainly well scrambled at the moment.
We'll brain you if you don't, Gain.
Hey, Ma, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but what do you mean my brain is finished growing?
I've got pregnancy brain like a fiddle, and I've been playing you like a fox.
No one's ever attempted a double bypass brain transplant before.
So when I see that picture, that fog inside your brain should just swallow up all the memories, right?
Well, technically speaking, the procedure is brain damage, but it's on a par with a night of heavy drinking.
Compressing your lungs, forcing the blood from your brain, impairing your judgment and reaction time.
Electrical brain.
Capture that brain.
It's our only chance to preserve his brain function.
Win-win-win if we can figure out where the sister brain shrine is to put these.
Trying to reconcile the brain with urges that come out of millions of years ago.
Your brain. My father believes tales of romance caused the brain fever that killed my mother.
Your brain and... Yes, 10 minutes.
No, I just figured with him being such a brain and all, it's like you would think that he would figure out a way to remember stuff that he forgot.
Do not let your German brain be bossed around!
Second stage symptoms appear. Mania, as the virus enters the brain.
They've identified these receptors in the brain that activate specific circuits.
We're imprinting a physical brain.
You fucked up your brain.
I don't know what you're concocting in that little ant brain of yours, but we'll have no part of it.
What about the brain? The degenerative brain disease in the world's most dangerous brain.
Well, what would you do with a brain if you had one?
Do?
Appearing in a form your feeble human brain can comprehend.
Take your brain to the center of this planet.
I think your brain is going soft.
Every time my fingers touch brain, I'm Superfly TNT.
I won't let her boss my German brain around. Mein Führer. My dad says the TV kills your brain cells.
Some 5 to 10 minutes later, the operation began. The 6-man team of neurosurgeons probing for the bullet that had lodged in Senator Kennedy's brain.
The so-called brain stem consists of the midbrain.
Their brain pans are not big enough to be...
Its brain and lung. Your anger is shutting down the brain God gave you.
Hell, I tell any folk that'll listen. I threw my man out, put his brain in the bird, and the bird will fly backwards.
Speak into the microphone, squid brain.
Well, I'm not a psychiatrist, but I do know that his brain doesn't work like other people.
We just didn't realize how much the infection had damaged the brain.
Stink brain.
Like when you hear that ding on your inbox, you get a dopamine rush in your brain.
Sir, we are monitoring his vitals, but the damage to his brain is...
I'd
love to sit down with you and just pick your brain, if you'd ever be willing.
I wonder if they'd let Watson and me dissect her brain.
How to hold this drunken, helpless Indian woman down there at the bottom of that canyon while you got ready to shoot a bullet into her brain.
It allows for the nicotine to be more rapidly absorbed in the lung and therefore affect the brain and central nervous system.
It was brain damage.
Something's just teasing the edge of my brain.
I have to tell people that I'm doing research on women who have been having meaningless sex for years and how that affects their brain.
My brain is falling out.
Obviously, I love your brain too.
But this man is the business brain and drug overlord of an empire that stretches across the Andes.
If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
No direct brain trauma at all.
Officials are quoted as explaining that since the brain of a ghoul has been activated by the radiation, the plan is kill the brain and you kill the ghoul.
The brain isn't affected.
You, Scarecrow, have the effrontery to ask for a brain.
Check out the big brain on bread.
You go get my money or I'll put your fucking brain to sleep.
Your first shot puts him down, then you put one in his brain.
I swear, you know everything about the human brain except the way it works.
Just a bit of harmless brain alteration, that's all.
Like a brain factory in here.
So my foggy brain tried to remember where one tablet of NZT might be.
You're the brain and central nervous system of the ship.
You got a brain freeze there, Jack.
If I'm right, we can access the area of the brain that gobbins repair.
Wow.